Hello, everybody. Welcome to this special edition of the Yinzer Brothers podcast. I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim, and we are the Yinzer Bros. We've had so much ridiculous stuff happen with the Steelers. We thought we had to drop another podcast here for you guys because it's just been absolutely nuts. Tim, how is your heart with all the stuff that's been going on with the Steelers lately?
TJ, what the hell am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this?
Tim, I don't know. Would any of our listeners like a triple X Kenny Pickett jersey?
This is Tim. I should have known better because the single digits don't look good on the big fella. I should have known better. What am I going to do with this? Tim, I'm going back. I'm going back to the Berg on Monday for a week. I'm tempted to take this down to 1320 Art Rooney Drive and be like, hey, can you give me something for this? Let's cook. You give me a let's cook jersey.
You should. I would never buy. That's what I would do.
I should never go against my gut. Draft night, I go, what the hell are we doing? And I fell into the trap. I fell into this trap.
Oh, you did?
This is a good one. This is the sewn numbers and letters on it. This is a nice one.
I don't know. I didn't pick up a Pickett jersey. I knew
homeless guy in Winfield is going to be rocking this, and I'm going to know it's mine because it's the only one out here.
Dude, you should sign it and pretend like it's a Kenny Pickett signed jersey. That'd be great.
And have my daughter sign it and take a picture because it's like the baby hands.
That would be great. So I don't know if you guys have heard or not, but OMAR has been cooking. He has been cooking, baby.
He wants it, he gets it.
He does. He wants it, he gets it. He's been cooking. So we have a ton of stuff going on. So we'll save Kenny Pickett for last. But if you've been living under a rock, obviously. We talked about Russell Wilson. If you guys, check out the Yinzer Bros podcast, you can hear all about this. So within just a week,
Teach, I will say this. I will say this, dude. Did you see his thing today where he went they did the little 5-second cameo and he was like, "Here we go." I'm going, that son of a B. I should have.
You missed your opportunity. You missed it.
I said that's what it was going to be like last week, and that's what he did. He slow played it. Here we go. I'm going that TJ, that took me, the whole thing with the Renegade, that took me the complete 180 back. I go, that son of a B.
He did. He sucked you right in. Yeah. Now, but here's the thing too. I mean, and this is where you know that there was issues even with Kenny. We'll talk about it later, but all the guys, he's already had dinner with Cam and all those guys. All those dudes reached out to him. They know Tim.
He had dinner with James Harrison. Harrison was a part of that dinner. Do you think James Harrison's going out with
No.
Man.
What do you think that was like? What was that dinner like?
I don't know. Do you think Sierra was there too? I saw Sierra was in Pittsburgh with her 12-inch what are those, the Timberland boots. I was like, she's here.
What is she gonna do? I mean, she's gonna roll around the Monroeville Mall. What's she gonna do? What could she possibly do in the Berg, Tim?
Nothing. I mean, what does anybody do in the Berg? They just
we got nothing. There's nothing.
Go to a Penguin game.
I don't know.
Or a baseball game. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do.
It's great. So Russell's coming in. He's large and in charge, which is good. Now it's everything's it's wide open now because we got no other QBs. But we'll talk about that. And then they signed again a pretty decent safety, Deshaun Elliott, alongside of Mika. What do you think about that, Tim?
I want more. That better not be it. I want more.
I don't think it's going to be it. I want
the dude from Denver that's still out there. The guy that was probably the best free agent safety in the thing. That's who I want. Give him to me.
They got money, so who knows? Maybe he's there. And
that's what's ticking me off, dude. They're not. They made this. Those two. That didn't want to splash. That was a $6 million deal.
This guy's cooking,
brother.
OMAR is cooking.
You're missing out. Would you give him the Bears give a 4th rounder for Keenan Allen?
He's cooking. I'm telling you. Tim, look at that face. He's got it under control.
There's not a lot left in the market. That's what gets me scared.
The big stuff's left. And he's looking for the big stuff. And he gets it on the cheap, Tim. He's got a coupon. He's getting it on the cheap. So then what do you think of the Queen signing?
I like Queen signing because to me, originally I think he was supposed to be in they're saying $17-18 million range. To get him for $13 million, man. I like him.
Durable, tough. I love. Did you see? They asked him. He said, "Do you got anybody in the Steelers that you got like some unfinished business with?" Did you hear what he said?
Jaylen Warren.
Jalen Warren. And I thought that is just tough, man.
My thing is I like the fact that he's can like cover.
Yes.
I mean, they have been looking for a linebacker for how many years, dude? Since Shazier.
Long time.
I mean, this better be it. I mean, and it's nice because truthfully, the way that deal is structured, if he stinks this first year, you can get out of it.
Yeah.
So
it's only like what, $6 million against? I think it's $6 million against the cap the first year or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a good deal. I think, like I said, he's fast. I don't know. Everybody's like, well, he's playing next to Roquan. You know, I get it.
Hello, who's not going to be great if you're playing? Tim, you and I could be all pro if we're playing next to Roquan.
The Bears shipped him out. That franchise is unbelievable.
I know
they shipped him out for the Edmonds brother, and they paid the Edmonds brother. I made this statement. They got Queen so cheap. I think he's better than the Edmonds brother. They paid the Edmonds brother. He's getting paid like 18, 19 million. I'm ridiculous. Like, continue to cook polls. Everybody's praising him out here for the moves he made. I'm going, you soon forget about a lot of the dumb moves he's made.
Oh, no, so what do you think about the Deontay trade? Us shipping Deontay out to Carolina, the wasteland of football.
He's a cancer, dude. Get him out. He was a cancer.
I agree.
It's like they're cut. TJ, it's like, oh my gosh, they're going back to like their olden roots where they're getting rid of all the headache people. And like, it's sad. Like the more you hear about Kenny, it's like,
yeah,
soft. Soft.
That's right.
He was mentally, he must be soft.
Tim, you know who knew that? This guy right here. Omar knew that. Wasn't even Omar's guy. That guy right there, he knew it. That guy knew it right there. He's taking care of business. I mean, and then they sure to.
Did you see the stat of like the last 5 years of Colbert's drafts? Nobody's left.
Yeah, he was bad. He was bad. So these guys are they're setting the ship right. And then, they signed some of their own, which is good. They signed Killebrew. They signed, a bunch of the guys. But then the big thing we got to talk about right now, and I don't know where you were at, Tim, when you got the alert that Kenny Pickett was traded to the Eagles. Now, I'm in Eagles country right now. I live out in Delaware, Eagles country. And people are going bananas out here. Both sides of the fence. They're like, what are we doing?
I heard like they played a clip from like on the Pittsburgh Sports Talk of the Philly, like the big one out there.
Yeah.
And they were like hated because they thought they were getting Justin Fields.
Yeah.
They were like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Like he was crying about being and I do think it happened, truthfully. I think from like everything you hear that he was a hot name, like people actually want him. I think other teams that maybe needed a starting quarterback wanted him. And the Steelers, like, if you're going to play that game, you want to trade, we'll send you to a place you'll never start ever again.
Omar's cooking.
What I'm saying, they did the same thing with Deontay, too.
They did?
They did the same thing with Claypool. It's like I love the pettiness of the organization. It's great. We'll send you to Siberia. That's great.
Right. You'll never succeed again. I was listening to, they're like, oh, they think that Kenny could beat out Hurst. I'm like,
are you out of your mind?
On what planet is that going to happen?
Are you out of your beat out Hurts, the guy you just paid $250 million. No. He was in the MVP racing 2 years ago.
Yeah. No.
Trust me, he ain't beating out Hurts.
No,
and if he does, you guys are in for a wrong. I don't know.
You're in for a crap show.
I'm not going to say because I like Kenny. I thought he was going to be. I said give him another pop at it, but to hear everything he said and the trade, that tells me you're mentally soft.
Well, it does, and I'm sorry. So you got Russell Wilson coming, and he calls, and you're talking to him, whatever it is, and he gets sour over the deal. You know what? Suck it up and just beat him. Let your play talk, not your stinking mouth. I don't understand this.
It was funny hearing Wilson kind of dodge every Kenny question in that. He can't like professional or anything, but it's like he had to have known.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. So, so if you want to welcome competition, Kenny, you welcome competition, but don't play the baby stuff. I mean, and here's the reality too. I mean, we know that these athletes, they're not dumb. When they start clamoring for Mason Rudolph, it tells you, I don't think Kenny just lost the locker room because he was being a baby. He did not have the talent needed to secure the job. I mean, think about that. You got Mason Rudolph that beat you out. Now, I heard Mason's was he in Tennessee or something like that now? Is that where he went? Who knows what Mason's going to do? But I know this. He's a statue. He's better than Kenny, but that doesn't mean much to me because I think Kenny just couldn't stay in the pocket. I know Russell Wilson's got his issues like that too. Yeah. But So let me ask you the big question. Do you think in your heart this clears the path, possibly, for the Steelers to pick up Justin Fields?
I mean, I think so. I would give it more greater than 50%.
You're in Chicago. What are they saying in Chicago?
This town thinks just because they got Keenan Allen, they're keeping Fields now and going to trade the number 1 pick. I'm like, you guys are morons. You guys are idiots. Do you think? Do you really think they're not going to grab Caleb Williams? And then they go, well, you should keep Fields, and then let him play for you. Let Caleb sit. I'm like, the guy you pick number 1 doesn't sit on the bench. And I go,
especially him.
And I was like, is that what you want in your locker room? You want the Fields, him, and then half the fan base here loves Fields. They think he's like a Superman. The other people are like, we love Caleb. And I'm like, you guys are just morons. You had Caleb Williams fall into your lap. Shut up. Be happy. But I tell you right now, he's still going to stink because he's going to the Bears. There's 2 franchises. The only other franchise that Caleb Williams would go to is the Cleveland Browns, and he would suck there too. It's just that's those 2 franchises. That's what it is. You go there as a quarterback, you're going to die. Yeah. Your talents are going to die. Did
you see who the Browns signed today? Devin Bush.
That may have been the best Steelers signing of the whole entire thing.
They just didn't know how to use them. The Steelers and the Seahawks didn't know how to use them.
There's a guy on Twitter that said, "Hey, Steeler fans, give us the 411 on Devin Bush," and people were like writing like, he was good early and now he's not. I wrote to the guy, you ever play Madden and your joystick gets unplugged on your guy? I was like, that's Devin Bush.
That's exactly it. You're being too kind, Tim.
You don't think Najee and thinking Jalen Warren are going, oh my God, it's Christmas morning. That dude's got to play against him twice a year.
Oh, he ain't seen the field. I mean, come on, man. Who's he? What's he going to do?
You got to do something at some point in time for the Browns.
He's what we call a depth piece.
I understand, but sometimes those depth pieces got to get in the game. If those depth pieces get in the game, I'm going to be sitting. I may buy Devin Bush Brown jersey when they play the Steelers and be like, "This is the best player the Steelers got."
I got to tell you this, man. It was so tough for me to hear Queen call out Warren. I thought, dude, what greater compliment could any running back
to me?
Ever
the
want?
Greatest part of his news conference was like, when they asked about the Ravens going up, he's like, I like playing. He's like, I like being the villain. I'm like, this dude right here, I like him. I like him.
And dude, what do you think of the story too with Tomlin? Telling him as a rookie, you ain't a Raven. You ain't supposed to be a Raven.
Tomlin.
Had him in a mental pretzel, even as a rookie.
If you just see Tomlin in that press conference, is like just looking at him and Wilson, just like sitting there staring like this. I'm like, dude.
You know who did it too? Tim, this guy right here. This guy, Omar's cooking. Omar.
It's just so funny. Like, if you would have asked me at the end of the season, like, we have no quarterbacks from our roster back.
Hallelujah.
We have no Deon. I don't know what the hell's going on, dude.
Weren't you done with Deontay? I was done with Deontay. Now, don't get me wrong. He'd catch the ball, but he was a poison to one play where he did come off the line. He watched the fumble. He did nothing. He was a poison, dude.
And they keep saying they don't want that bad influence on George. I'm going, guys, I hate to break it to you. It doesn't matter if Deontay's there or not.
He's nuts. George is nuts.
George's crazy. George is a crazy human being.
Dude, just that draft day picture, him and that, I don't know, what is he wearing, a burqa? I don't know what he's wearing.
He's absolutely banana land. I mean,
I think he'll be okay if you get him the ball. And let me ask you,
you have to. There's nobody else to throw to.
That's true. So I'm thinking Russell might be able to contain him a little bit.
Oh yeah, what's Russ going to be like? Hey, George, here we go.
Hey, he can use the Jedi mind tricks. I don't know, man.
I'm going to be cussing Russ out by week 7. I can guarantee it.
Tim, here's my prediction.
Steelers are 2-5, and I'm going, this midget can't see over the line of scrimmage.
Tim, our QB play has been so bad for so long. We traded
Kenny Pickett away for this midget who can't move. No. All I keep seeing is snippets of Sierra gaining weight up in the box eating pierogies.
Permanis and pierogies. He won't let that happen, dang it. So do you think, I think it does clear the way for Fields. I mean, it just makes sense to me.
TJ, it will irritate the hell out of me if I go see, like, tomorrow they sign Ryan Tannehill and we got 2 35-year-old quarterbacks.
It can't be.
And if they go draft some dude like Bo Nix like in the second round, TJ, my head will explode.
I think there's too much
Nix is
upside.
He may be the same age as Kenny, maybe even a year older. I don't need that dude in my life.
No, you don't. I think there's just too much upside, and we all know Tomlin loves Fields, and Fields is the only thing that's close to Lamar Jackson.
I saw Mike T getting very chummy and very happy talking to Bo Nix at Senior Bowl week. I'm going, I don't like that. The last time I saw that face, he was. Next thing you know, he's getting drafted to the Steelers. I don't want Bo Nix here.
Hey, but you know what's funny though? They stayed away from Kenny Pickett. They didn't go near him for that. It was a smoke screen. I think Tomlin knows how to work a room, and I think he does it with everybody. I think he understands that these young players are enamored with him. Even the old guys. I mean, you hear these guys; they still talk about him. Everybody wants to play for Tomlin. They all do. They just want to play for him. I think we're putting the pieces in place.
Then they better get a number 2 wide receiver that wants to play with him.
Well, I don't think Boyd's off the table. I think Boyd could still do. Now, I still think he's a 3, but you know.
No, I think. Well, here's my you haven't signed Tyler Boyd yet? I mean, come on now. You make it sound like that dude is like he's prime meat. No, he's choice. Like he's you haven't signed that dude yet?
He is chopped steak. He is not. I mean, come on, not a sirloin. He's not.
So I mean, like to me, it sounds like it's kind of weird that he hasn't been signed yet. He's 29. You know, you got Hollywood Brown, which you know is going to be. He's going to Kansas City, which I was like, I saw that, I go, that's great. Now they got all 3 levels taken. Now they got their. They may. But he's a
Brown, so you know at any point he's going to explode.
They may lose a half a game this year. The Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of going, that was great. And then you see Keenan Allen traded for a 4th round pick. I'm going, he would have been a nice 2.
But Tim, what if this guy has his sights sets on a couple guys from San Francisco?
I just don't think it's going to happen, dude. I just don't.
Tim, you look at that face and you tell me that it's not possible. Look at that face.
Say you get Debo, like you got to give up, like you have to give up some nice draft capital to get Debo.
Well, and I think what they're doing now is they're taking the Kansas City blueprint. You know, when they traded whatchamacallit to Miami, they got great draft capital for him. They're thinking, what are they going to do? They keep reloading. You know, Kansas City keeps reloading. So I could see them doing
TJ, they have the golden goose crapping out golden eggs under center all the time. That's why. You
mean
do
Kermit
that.
the Frog? You mean Kermit?
Anything he touches goes to gold. If you have him, you can. Let's reload. Me and you are out there catching 3 balls a game, like, hey, from Patrick Mahomes.
But he ain't no Kenny Pickett, Tim.
That dude, man.
So I think before it's all said and done, I mean, obviously they got to bring in another wide receiver.
What am I gonna do with this jersey?
I can't believe you were sporting that in Vegas too, guys. He was sporting that in Vegas. That was a big ominous 8 in Vegas.
TJ, I haven't washed this thing since I got it.
Well, the Goodwill's going to wash it, Tim. I can tell you that.
Because in my heart, I was like,
they're going to wash it before they.
If I wash it,
it
may be bad luck,
guys.
It may be bad luck, but I mean, what am I going to do with that? Jeez,
I don't know.
Louise.
If you can dye it green, you can sell it to a dumb Eagles fan. Maybe, I don't know. It's bad news.
Maybe I just put some tape on it and put like a 3 and depict it. And just...
You should do that. That'd be great. I think it's a great idea. I don't think they're done cooking. I think they got a couple more things going on. I am a little concerned too. I was hoping they would pick up a center, and the big centers are kind of off the board now. I mean, they can pick up somebody, but
they got so many holes. I think the corner, they can't be comfortable with the dude they got in that trade.
No, I think he's a depth piece. You know who I think they're still betting on is the kid that they drafted last year that blew his knee out. Was that Tice? Was that who that was? Remember him? I mean, they got him late. They got him late, but he had like a second or third round grade on it.
You know why he got him late?
He was hurt.
He's blown his knee out like 4 times since like his junior year of college.
Oh, we gotta duct tape that. Hey, right. He knows that, but he's got a plan, Tim. I mean, Omar's got a plan.
My thing was this. Hey, I'm okay with the whole Russell thing if you are spending in free agency. And I'm sorry, Patrick Queen, I get it. I need more than that. Yeah. Russ is making 1.2. I don't like it that their defense is the highest paid defense in the league. So
what give me like 1 or 2 splash signings where you'll go, all right.
You got to get I would like that. You pair him with that safety from Denver, I think would be good. I think you can get him for maybe 9, 10 million a year. I would get a corner. There's a couple corners out there that's been banged up young. You got to get a receiver. I don't know how much you have to pay Boyd. To me, you pay Boyd.
You just pay the man.
If Holly Brown got $11 million, I'm hoping you can get Boyd for like 9. But I don't think. I think he would already been off the board if that was the case.
I think Boyd's important not just because of what he does physically, but I think he'll take control of the wide receiver room. I mean, he's a Pittsburgh dude, which is great, but he's not afraid of getting people's faces. I think he'll take control of the wide receiver room. You got to bring in a veteran. You can't let George Pickens be the veteran wide receiver. Now I know they got this kid from LA, but he was drafted in 2000? So he's a year older.
He stinks. He stinks.
Oh, yeah. Depth piece, Tim. He's a depth piece.
All that tells you is who's the guy they got from LA last year that was stunk? They're third.
Peterson or whatever.
No, the other dude. Whatever. The wide receiver that they cut was supposed to be like $10 million. Play for the Bears. That's where he's worse than him. I don't know why. TJ, I don't know. This guy stinks. If he's their answer to their number 2, guess what?
He's not.
This dude better. Yeah.
Tim, has this guy done anything to make you doubt him yet?
Let me think. Yeah.
What's he done to make you doubt him?
You got rid of Dotson last year.
I get it. I get it. He didn't quite fit. I still don't chalk that up to him. That wasn't one of his guys. And again, I think Dotson, he probably should have been on the right side. I get that. We played him on the wrong side.
Yeah. Other than that, I guess you're right, but there's just so many holes. I still think they need to get a tackle. Hope they get that in the draft.
Well, they do.
You got to get a center.
I think you get tackles in the draft because they're cheaper.
TJ, their D line is thin.
Well, they got basically 6 of the guys. They have 5 of the 6, filled. So I think they draft somebody or they make a play for somebody. And I think they definitely need to get a tackle. They got to pick up a center in the draft. I get nervous. You get 2 young guys in the draft like that. They have enough draft picks. They could pick up. I still think they can grab that. Now, again, see, here's where it gets weird. You'd think they go for that tackle first, but, man, I'll tell you what, they could go all in on a wide receiver.
You have to get a wide receiver early. Because you got to
be
number 2.
I mean, here's the reality. They pick up some good quality in the second round, but, man, if they want to swing for the fences, man, they could grab – they ain't going to get Harrison Jr., but they can get what's the kid from
Washington?
Yeah, what's his name?
Madu or whatever. He's going to go in the top 7, top 8. So unless they're going to trade
up to grab him. He looks special.
I mean,
but you know what? It's a deep wide receiver draft. I still think this. If you get that kid from Georgia, if that tackle from Georgia is there at 20,
again, the only thing gets me scared about him. He's only played 8 games. 8 games in college.
So would you grab him or would you grab the center from Oregon?
The more I hear about the center from Oregon, the more I get nervous.
Why are you getting nervous? What are you hearing?
I heard that the offense they played in Oregon wasn't an NFL type of offense. So he was never moving. He was never pulling. He was never out like that. So they don't know how good he is getting out in front, pulling, doing stuff like that. They said that I've been hearing the kid from West Virginia. A lot of people are thinking that he may turn out better than him because he has the ability to move. That one thing gets me nervous.
And he's probably a second rounder, don't you think?
Probably. So, I mean, I don't know. I say that now, and that guy from Oregon's probably going to be a 15-year All-Pro from the jump.
I think either one of them is going to be fine.
And it'll probably be a Raven for some god-awful reason. I'm like, oh, the Ravens got him. That's funny.
We got to grab a center. We got to grab a young tackle. I mean, there's a lot of tackles in the draft. You can grab a decent tackle late, and you got to grab I think they could end up grabbing a couple wide receivers in this draft.
It depends what they do with if you sign Boyd, you need one wide receiver. You need to draft one. Because you still have the little Smurf that nobody's ever talking about either. So you got to draft one. I hope they're not banking on him being the number 2, which scares the hell out of me.
He can't be number 2. I think we also got to give credit to the new offense coordinator too. I mean, he cannot be a number 2. He just can't.
I hope not, dude.
No, he can't. They got to shore up the line, which is good, even for Russell Wilson, because he doesn't do well with pressure either. You got to keep him clean.
I know, and it gets me so nervous that they're. I just think they're enamored with Dan Moore. Like I don't know what it is. Like why, why, why,
I don't
why
know.
do they like Dan Moore so much?
I don't know. But Tim,
Stinks.
I know this. This guy's got a plan. This guy's got a plan, Tim.
TJ, I'm telling you right now, if I don't see a backup quarterback or something of before this weekend, a wide receiver, I'm going to be like, I don't know about this guy's plan anymore.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, Justin Fields' stock is continuing to fall. I mean, where's he going to go now? I mean, how many places really have holes for him that aren't high enough to draft a good quarterback?
Here's my thought to that is this, okay? So Philly was in the works, so they said that's why they went with Kenny Pickett because they just couldn't get a deal done for Fields for the backup. So what was the asking price for the Bears? Did they turn that away? Because, I mean, you get what I'm saying. We gave them Kenny, a 4th-round pick, and they gave us a 3rd-round pick.
And they gave us 2
7th.
sevenths. Yeah.
So what is the asking price that was too high? Why did Philly say no? You know, you get what I'm saying, dude?
Maybe they were asking for a second. And again, you're looking for Fields, and it may be this too. Maybe Fields doesn't want to go to a place where he's going to be a number 2 guy. With that, I mean, when you're behind Hurst, you're going to be there forever.
I don't think, but I heard it. Everything they're saying was the Philly didn't want to give up what they were asking for. That tells me it's either a 2 or it's a 3 and a 5 or something like that. Which I ain't giving up a 3
and a 7. I give him a 3 and a 7.
A
3 and a 7 next year.
I'd give him sure a 4 and a 7. Here you go.
Yeah. Omar, what do you think about that? Look, Omar, he's cooking. He's like, guys, I already got this handle. Don't worry, I got this handle.
I got a feeling that 3rd-round pick they got from Philly is going to be shipped over to them in a deal. And I don't. And my God, I don't know if I'm crazy about sending a 3rd round for Fields because he's going to sit this year.
Yeah.
And then you got a big decision you got to make. Are you going to pick up his option next year for $20 million?
I mean, for what QBs are making now, I think you take a flyer on that.
Okay, because if Wilson stinks, he doesn't play all year or plays bare. I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to pick up that? You're going to pick up just on a one day? I'm going to give you $20 million.
If Wilson is great, that's a good problem, and we sign Wilson to another couple years. If he stinks, it's a 1-year deal. He's gone, and then you move on to Fields. $20 million to give him a shot, I think is fine. And then you're going to draft another quarterback, so you have another one in the fold. You can always pick up a journeyman.
$20 million to give him a shot. TJ, you out of your damn mind?
Well, what did Kirk Cousins get going down to? Kirk Cousins, who's like me and you out there, what did he get going down to Georgia, Tim?
Baker Mayfield's making. Let me put it this way:
Baker Mayfield's making. He's got like $50 million guaranteed.
But he was making like $5 million because he had a prove it deal. So you're telling me you're going to pay Justin Fields $20 million to prove it?
Here's the question: have you seen enough out of him, and is he young enough where you're like, we'll take a flyer on this for a year? Now, you can always do this. You can always sign him longer and then spread the money out if you think he's the guy.
I don't think that. I think you got to I think that something about that 5th-year option. You got to pick it up. I think it's like I don't know.
No, I think you pick it up, and then I think the next year it's like what are the Eagles going to do when Kenny's 5th-year option comes up?
What are they going to do?
Yeah, they're going to probably release him, or they're going to restructure something.
They got two more years to think about that, and maybe they do at that point in time think, hey. Because Jalen Hurts will be 4 or 5 years, 4 years in that deal. It's probably going to be a $60 million cap hit. Maybe they're like, if he sucks, Kenny, you're taking over.
Tim, how do you say that with a straight face?
TJ, what am I going to do with this jersey?
See, if he ends up like balling out with the Eagles, that'll be vintage. That'll be high demand.
Oh, if he ends up balling out with the Eagles,
this
guy
Tim,
will need to be fired immediately.
Tim, is there anything we saw some flashes in the 4th quarter, but is there anything that you saw in Kenny Pickett that makes you feel he's an elite quarterback? Arm strength, mobility, intelligence, his ability to read a defense, any of that stuff where you're like, yeah, this guy's got this. Deep ball.
TJ, I think he has the ability to read defenses and big positions. His offensive coordinator was a putz, dude.
I get it, but how many plays did you see where he left wide open receivers and just
TJ, but you see that
out of the pocket?
You see that every week. I see what you made videos I've seen with with Mr. What's Unlimited, I guess.
Hey! Don't you talk about our quarterback like that.
I've seen plenty of videos with Russell Wilson doing the same thing.
But here's a challenge: he was in the wrong offense. He's
TJ,
not Peyton's guy.
I hear people like saying we want to let Russ cook. I'm like, I don't want Russ to cook. I want Russ to hand the ball off and not turn it over.
That's when he was successful in Seattle. That's what he did. He had a great defense, great running attack, and chuck the ball deep every once in a while, Russ. That's all we need you to do.
I can't.
That sounds like Smith's offense, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess. I didn't, but I also didn't like the Arthur Smith signing to begin with. So I think this guy's a putz too.
I think he's a great signing.
We'll see.
I think he does what the Steelers want to do. And here's reality. We even had a real offensive coordinator, Tim. When's the last time we had a real offensive coordinator? Can I throw this out there? Probably Todd Haley is the last time we had a real offensive coordinator. How many years ago was that, Tim?
It was a long time ago.
I mean, think about it. We hear our guys talking, Dag Nabbit. Give us a real offensive coordinator. We haven't had one in, what is that, 10 years? 10 years?
I agree with you, but it's just, to me, it's...
Let's just see what he does. Let's see what he does.
There's just so many holes, and I thought they would have other guys, but not. Like I thought you would see, like with this Wilson. I'm like, okay, they're gonna be landing some big fish, but it seems like the same old free agent crap. It's like they're besides Queen, they're just jumping into the stinking. And I hate to break it to you, it feels like they almost did that for Queen too, because that dude shouldn't be getting paid $13 million. Something happened in that middle linebacker,
Tim, he's cooking.
No,
he's cooking.
Something happened.
Did you hear they're talking about the money? He was like, listen, they're like, well, you're going to be saving money. He's like, no. We're spending all the money, all the cap money. We're not holding anything back. He said that.
And then they should be restructuring mad dudes, and they should be making.
He's cooking. Look at that face. He's cooking.
I'm just telling you, like the Queen deal, he got it super cheap because the linebacker thing was going down. The other guys he signed, they're not big deals. They're crap deals.
Depth.
TJ, that's those guys jumping into the dumpster, being like.
I don't think you clear the wide receiver room like that without making a big splash. And they have to clear. They got to do something in the key. They got one quarterback.
Yeah, I know, TJ. I know they got one quarterback, and I just have visions of sugar plumps of Ryan Tannehill and Russell Wilson and some guy from Tulane or something like that I've never heard of in the draft.
I'm telling you right now, when I heard that third round pick, I thought that pick's going right to Chicago. Now, I would feel better if it was a fourth rounder like you.
But wouldn't it like already been done?
Well, again, there's a reason. Maybe they're just waiting because the Bears. I mean, sometimes you got to do this with the Bears. I don't know if you realize this or not. When it comes to their negotiating skills, this is the same organization that gave us, in essence, a first-round pick for Chase Claypool, who they ended up just releasing. Is he even like playing? Is he in the U.S.? He was on like the practice squad for the Dolphins, wasn't he, or something like that?
He was on the Dolphins. I think he's in Canada again. I don't know what he's doing.
Mapletron, whatever they called him. So I think they're probably like, okay. And, and Con, he's reassuring them. He's like, listen, guys, last time I just got lucky. This really didn't happen. You could trust me this time. And they're like, are you sure, Omar? And he's like, yeah, trust me. I just got lucky. And just, it'll be fine.
I mean, I get it. But, Tej, you gotta fill these holes because you can't do it all in the draft.
He's doing it.
I keep looking at the top. Like you could Google it every night. Go look at the remaining top free agents. You're gonna be like, things is looking thin.
So it may not be, again, and this is where I'm kind of starting to come from now too. It may not just be about the free agents. They may be trading for personnel that they need. So they just might be working out trades. It's one thing to grab a free agent. It's another thing to work out a trade. I think when you're dealing with the Bears, it's a trade. Now, there ain't no way they're going to get T. Higgins unless the Bengals are idiots. They would never. No. You never ship somebody like that off to a division rival. And I pray to God that they don't give him to Kansas City. They'd have to be insane to do that, right? He's got to have NFC written all over him. He cannot be in the AFC.
To me, it's like I don't like Keenan Allen for a fourth round draft pick. I understand he had 1 year and he's getting paid a boatload of money.
They're just getting the money off the books. They're getting the money. They're in cap hell.
But to me, I would have got it for the Steelers. The Bears, I kind of like, if you get Williams, What are you going to do? It's 1 year deal. You going to extend that dude to 37? I would have rather drafted some guy young and let him grow with Caleb Williams with the other dude on the side. That's just me personally, but I mean, I'd still a 4th-rounder for that dude, regardless of what the hell you're doing. I thought, I mean, you would have paired him with Pickens.
I hear
You're cooking with grease.
I hear you. I hear it. So I think they'll grab somebody. And again, it is a deep wide receiver draft. And I got to say this, man, the Steelers, obviously they have the special sauce when it comes to drafting wide receivers.
Yeah, because the special sauce, they're all getting shipped out within 3 years.
That's true. They're not worried about behavioral issues, but now that's a different regime. I also like too. I think too. Arthur Smith. One of the things that he brings to the offense is discipline. He doesn't put up with crap.
I agree. I agree. But I always had like visions. I thought like seeing Aaron Donald retire today. I thought that guy would want to force his way out of LA to get at least 1 or 2 years in Pittsburgh. It kind of made me like, that stinks.
Yeah, it does. That's the end of an era. I mean, Penn Hill's guy, we drank the same water he did, Tim.
I know, which is absolutely embarrassing for me. Like, I have to practice with knives.
Yeah. So just to throw it out here, guys, those of you that are listening. So this is how dedicated the Yinzer Bros are. If we get news that pops up here, we're going to throw another podcast out there. I'm expecting, Tim, within the next week or so, we're going to be talking about another quarterback, another wide receiver, maybe a safety or a corner. I don't know. More news is coming. So when the news hits, the Yinzer Bros are there.
It sucks. I'm refreshing Twitter every 5 seconds.
I'm doing the same thing.
I'm doing what's going on, and I'm seeing all these guys going. I'm going, come on, guys, let's do something, guys. Let's do it. And then you're sitting there and you see Kenny Pickett getting like the jolt of like adrenaline that went through my body when I saw the Patrick Queen thing. I was like, oh my, here we go. And like now you're just like you're up so high, then they trade Deontay the same day. You go back down low. You're going, what's going on, dude? It's got to be a better plan. But I will say this, TJ. If I got to put this on and I got to thank this guy one last time, and the reason why is this. I hated on him. Still think he's a punchable face. But I'm going to thank him because if this guy was the person that was the solely one to get the Steelers out of all the baloney that they were doing with all these jabronis like Pickett and Deontay Johnson to get this franchise back to what the franchise is, can't thank him enough.
That's right.
I said I'd put it on one more time because you think if that doesn't happen with Kenny and Mason doesn't play the way he played,
you're right.
All these dominoes could not be falling like they are right now.
You're right. Mason, we salute you.
Which is stunning. If you ever thought I'd do that, it's stunning. I mean, it's the truth. It's the truth.
I'm with you. You're totally right. All right, that does it for this podcast. Again, if you like what you hear, check us out at all the podcast places. You can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, go to YouTube, see everything. Once again, I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim. We're the Yinzer Bros, and we are here for you. We are a podcast for the Yinzer, for the people. Stay classy, Pittsburgh.
This guy better do something or we're not going to be number one out here, right? And again, what am I going to do? If any of you guys got a feeling what I can do with this jersey, give me a holler.
You could Venmo Tim. What is it? I think the Venmo amounts up to $3.99.
Unbelievable.
See you, Pittsburgh.